Good afternoon, everyone. This is Emily Kestrel, and I am at Nunica Cemetery, which is outside of Muskegon, Michigan. And this cemetery has the reputation of being perhaps the most haunted cemetery in the whole state. According to sources on the internet, some of the potential ghosts and haunted activity that we might find here include the ghost of a Civil War soldier, a mysterious woman in white who vanishes, a little girl who might hold your hand, and the usual mixture of orbs, lights, cold feelings, etc. So let us explore and see what we have here. We have my husband and my dog fam with me. We'll see if anybody picks up a creepy vibe. And this cemetery is right off of a busy road, so I do apologize for any traffic noises in the distance. It is very dark and shadowy under these trees, even though it is in the middle of a bright sunny afternoon. So being here in the shadows does create a bit of a spooky feeling. I do believe this cemetery was founded in the 1860s. I can't remember the exact date. I didn't take notes as I was looking things up online. But sometime in the 1800s, late 1800s, was when this cemetery was founded. It's a grave from 1896. What do we have here? Is it just a bunch of benches down there?
Yeah.
I guess where you can sit and contemplate.
Yeah, it's just an Eagle Scout project.
I will admit I'm a bit disappointed by how noisy it is here. Kind of takes away from the most haunted vibe.
Scary industrial noises.
Industrial noises are the worst. Well, let's take a look and see what kind of graves we can find.
That could be the reason why it's the most haunted, because they're being disturbed and
You know how we were talking about how random it is that one cemetery will have like the same image all over it and other cemeteries won't have that? This is the second grave I've seen that's got the gates opening and says his will be done, and I've never run across that one before. That seems to be something people here liked. Let's see what's down here. It is not only really bright today, it is also really hot. And the ground is super dry. You can tell there's a drought. This grass is almost completely yellow. What do you think, Dred? Do you think it's haunted? Dred says he thinks it's just hot. going to be completely honest over here, especially since I am away from my skeptical, scoffing spouse who does not believe in ghosts, but is nevertheless a very good sport at coming with me to these cemeteries. I actually think this cemetery might be haunted. Not so much over here on this side, but where I first started, it did have a very heavy vibe to the air, and I immediately got this weird, strange feeling of tension in my forehead. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just get a bit of tension in the middle of my forehead, and I think that's kind of like my vibe that something is going on here. I think that's the cemetery guardian tree. There's a wooden grave. Bill Stafford. Looks like he just died recently. I wonder why they gave him a wooden headstone. Well, that's an interesting headstone. Oh, there's the statue of a lion. I saw that on one of the websites. It's like there's nothing especially haunted about that lion that I know of, but it's just like one of the cool things about the cemetery. There's another wooden tombstone. They were buried 2008, so it looks like that's just maybe another thing they do unique to this area. So I've never seen wooden tombstones before. Oh, that's sweet. I saw this lady's tombstone, and my first thought was she must have liked birds. And then I see there's also a cat on it, and little paw prints and horseshoes. Her love of animals was one of her many blessings. That's very sweet. Oh, here's the mushroom. It's another one of the statues I saw online. It's one of the unusual features of this cemetery. It looks like this fell off the McLeesa stone. Let me put it back on for them. Now this section over here in this corner does not really feel haunted at all. If I were planning a paranormal investigation, I would not focus on this quarter of it. Which leads to an interesting question, because I always feel like there's more of a haunted feeling in the older sections of cemeteries, but there's really no logical reason why brand new graves can't have a ghost too. So that probably does go to show how much the imagination helps out with these legends of hauntings and spooky feelings. Okay, now that is unexpected. I was not expecting to find a patch of prickly pear cactus in a cemetery in Michigan. That is bizarre. Look at those prickly pear cacti. all around this area. Well, that is surprising. Don't step on it, Dread. Please, do not step on those cacti. Got some soldiers here. Oh, another thing I just recalled that I read online. And I was looking up haunted cemeteries in Michigan, is that supposedly the first ridge, when you come into the cemetery, it was also Native American burial ground. Don't know how much I believe that, since Native American burial ground gets thrown out as a story about every third or fourth haunting, it seems like. But on the other hand, there actually were Native American burial grounds, and I see no reason why some of them could not also be haunted. So who knows? It looks like this cemetery does have a progression of time, with the newer part over that way where we just were. These people look like their stones, their dates of death are in the 1950s, and then that side has the older ones. So let us return towards the older ones. So usually that is the most interesting spot. It's Bond. Any other bonds in this area? I will take Dread over there so he can get a drink with his pack mates while I take another quick look around the cemetery. It's doubtful I will ever have a chance to come back here again. Here is one of the graves that I heard about online. It's one of the wooden headstones, and all it has on it is the name Emily. No last name can be seen. Born and died. Can't make out the dates. I thought Dreg could have a drink while I just take another perusal around the older spot and see if I can find that one particular grave belonging to the Civil War soldier who allegedly haunts it. I'm thinking Civil War, it's going to be over here on the
name?
Joel Bond. And there's the Bond family stones over there, but I did not see a Joel Bond. I did see some Civil War looking stones, but not anything Joel Bond. So that I just take 5-10 more minutes and then we can go, if that's all right.
Okay.
It won't be long. These are faded. Alright, here is his grave. Joel Bond, Company G, 21st Michigan Infantry. Let's take a moment to check out the vibe. Looks looks like some people have left pennies for him. Other coins. Okay. So, here's the truth. I do think this spot here is haunted. I think that ridge right there might very well be the Native American burial mound, if one does exist. And ever since I strolled back into this section of, yeah, something's definitely here, for real. Ever since I strolled back into this section of the older stones, the feeling on my forehead is just like this tight, pinchy feeling that I get when something paranormal is around has come back in spades. And I don't know if Joel Bond is here in spirit or not, but thank you for your service, Joel. I hope that you are in peace now. This is gonna sound cheesy, but I think he liked that. Alright, since my husband and the dog fam are patiently waiting for me, I will cut this short, even though I don't want to. As you all probably know if you've watched any of my videos at this point, I love cemeteries and I love ghost stories. So this is right up my alley. But to sum up, the location of the cemetery, I was a bit disappointed because it is quite noisy. Doesn't really lend itself to a ghost hunting vibe. And then it just being a very hot, bright day. Probably not the ideal conditions to give oneself a scare. However, it is a very interesting cemetery. I was quite pleased at the different statues and headstones that I did see. And I do feel it's haunted. There's definitely a vibe here. And I definitely did feel something particularly strong back there at the grave of Joel Bond. So, on that note, I think I will pull myself away and head on to my next destination. And I hope you did enjoy this little stop at Nunica Cemetery. And I hope to see you again for my next adventure. Bye for now.